That's it. We're live. Hello. We are back again. You don't have to guess. It's us. Couch Pundits Sports Formula One with Vignesh and Arsh. What's happening, guys? What's up? Arsh, how are you doing? It's good to see you back.
Good to see
On
you
time.
too. Today though, I woke up 1 hour before the stream today.
Why?
I was like, when my alarm was half an hour before 8:30, I woke up at 8 and I was like, half an hour more. So I was only scared because last time also I did that. I was like, only half an hour more. And then I woke up at 9:30, 9:45, 45 minutes after the stream got over.
Yeah. That
So,
happened.
I didn't
As you
want to
can see,
risk it.
we're committed professionals over here, and with us is another real committed professional who is clearly doing well in life. Vignesh, what's up, man?
What's up? Oh, good, man. How are you?
We're good. Not as good as you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah, for those who are not aware, Vignesh has just won a championship, junior Formula Junior Championship. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it called? Yeah, it's the Formula Junior Championship, guys. He won that, and he's here to tell us all about it. This means many big things, obviously, for him, and we are very excited. Vignesh, if you can just tell us a little bit about what this category is and what cars you were racing and stuff like that, and also about the competition.
Yeah. So the competition, we were about 10 drivers, I believe, and so it's all in one weekend in Coimbatore. So we had 4 races, 2 practice sessions, and 1 qualifying. So pretty much Pura weekend was very nice, smooth for me, dominant throughout the weekend. 4 races, I got 2 wins, and 1 P2 and 1 P3. So on the podium, all 4 races, which got me the championship.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So I'd say that was a pretty good performance, consistency-wise, pace-wise. I was the quickest driver on track. I got the fastest laps for all the races. I had some good overtakes, good battles out there, but then that was only the first few laps, and then we just pulled away, got a good gap, and won the race.
Oof. You were telling me one race you really messed up.
I did, yeah. That was the final race. So the previous race was race 3. I won that, and so the finishing order of race 3 is how you start for race 4. So I started P1, right? And I had a good start. I got off the line very well. I got a good distance, but then my car wouldn't shift into second. When it finally did, before turn 1, I lost 2 positions because it's a good rundown to turn 1 from where we started. It's like a good 500 meters, something until turn 1. ਫਿਰ I went into a little bit of a panic mode, trying to gain back those places instantly, which in retrospect was a big mistake because I had the pace enough to get them aram se also.
Right.
But then I made a blunder going into turn 9, turn 8, where I tried to get off the brakes a little early to carry more speed to overtake on the outside. The car couldn't quite stick. I spun around and my car shut down, and it wouldn't start for a good 10 seconds after that. I was like, that's it, that's my championship gone. Fair, it started, and I was running dead last, so like in 10th. And I was like, I want to get this anyways. So I caught up. This was on lap 1, right? So I had like the rest of the race to make up places. I did, and I pulled quite a few overtakes, and I got myself up to P3 at the end. And one more lap, I would have had P2 and P1 as well, because they were not more than 2 seconds or something up the road from me.
Wow.
But anyways, वो race में जो mistake किया मैं, I've heard quite a lot of shit, got quite a lot of shit from my coach, my mentor, and I hate myself for that race also. That's something I want to forget. But
hey, shit, sorry I brought it up, man.
No, it's fine. It's completely fine because you learn from that, right? Now,
Yeah.
So that is me making a mistake under pressure, which I learned from now. And in retrospect, when you have the pace, take it easy. You'll get them eventually. Sub instantly milna zaruri nahi hai is what I took out of it. But it was a good championship. We start the year off very well. 2022 first season, we get the championship win, and this was also my first race win ever. So I was quite ecstatic after that.
Wow.
Like the in lap में इतना चिल्लाया वापस आते टाइम मेरा गला बैठ गया था.
रेडियो रहता है तुम लोग का?
नहीं, we don't have radio. So
You
I
don't
was
have
just
radio?
yelling. Yeah, and my brother was standing right outside park for me, right? So I got out of the car and I ran straight to him, just yelling at man. It was a good feeling. It's a very good feeling.
It's amazing, man. It's so nice to hear that.
Radio tha, that was going to be my first question as soon as Vignesh started his entire story. I was like, एक second, radio hai kya tum log?
No, we don't have radio in these cars.
We have someone wishing you congratulations in the chat.
Thank
you. Do you have footage of this race? Did you capture it on your cameras or?
So my brother captured it on his camera, but I don't have like onboard footage because I took the camera, but मेरे पास camera का mount नहीं था.
Oh shit!
And so I was gonna borrow it from someone. I did, but then the morning of the race director comes up to me and says, "गाड़ी के front पे it's not going to be allowed to have cameras. You gotta have it on the road book." And वो mount था नहीं मेरे पास. पूरा weekend गया मेरा इधर ही.
Oh man!
It turned out for the
yeah,
rest.
I think this is just one that you'll have to remember in your brain.
I do, yeah.
And I'm sure you will remember it for a really long time because, like you said, first race victory and all. Wow.
Bro, देख ना 1983 में कपिल देव का 175 भी broadcast नहीं हुआ था.
Exactly.
So we'll remember it.
And this means, what does this mean, Vignesh? Like, what is the consequence of this winning this championship?
Yeah, so this win gives me a free drive in the JK Tire National Championship with Team Miko Motorsports, which is the team I raced with earlier as well. So I already know the team, I already know all the mechanics, my teammates, and my coach also, for his team coach, my coach, he's a 14-time national champion, so who better to learn these cars from him? And I've already driven these cars before. They're very similar to the ones I've driven in this championship. So what I'm going for again is the championship win. So we see how it goes.
That's great, man. Month. Congratulations and best of luck.
And when does that take place?
Starts next month.
Ooh.
August.
Where is it?
Goes on.
So there's 5 rounds in the championship. So total of 15 races. So the first 4 rounds are in Coimbatore and the 5th round is in Budh. So exciting.
उधर अभी भी ट्रैक है मतलब ऐसा रोड नहीं दिया शादी वादी के लिए.
Bro, अभी Volkswagen और सब Jaguar और सब रेस करते हैं वहाँ पे मस्त spec series.
They have a lot of track events वहाँ पर.
Yeah,
they have. Who are whipping their BMWs out on track. But 3 लाख में उनका brakes खत्म.
ऐसा?
ऑटो कार इंडिया भी बहुत करता है events.
Brakes खत्म मतलब फिर क्या करना है मतलब गर्म हो जाता है.
Oh, they start like इतना overheat होता है because Budh में there's that long straight, right? 1.5 kilometer का उसके बाद you want to go heavy braking. Like 2-3 lap भी if your stock brakes can handle then it's something else. But उसके बाद starts like some cars I've seen fire, but then some brakes just don't work. They just go all the way through without stopping the car.
Shit, that's insane. And these are like road cars that they're taking.
Road cars, yeah, road cars.
What? Then what happens? Like people die?
No, they don't die. It's just you just come back in after 3 laps. There'll be mechanics, they'll repair it for you, go out again. Keep doing that process until you properly get your brakes done. And then if you're rich enough, obviously you'll be rich enough to go on track, right? You just put new brakes in your car. Easy.
No, 1 second. What happens?
Or if you're rich enough, just buy
straight and the brake pedal just goes through and it doesn't brake. What?
Yeah, Baba, there's safety measures. There are safety measures on track.
I'm asking. Like, what is this safety measure where like 180
no one's going to just die.
I mean, see, so I have had one of my friends, okay, he's taken out a BMW 3 Series, I believe, on track. So he did like a good 3-4 laps, and then he went on the straight. Then you just try, right? Through small braking zones, make brake nahi lag raha achhe se. You wouldn't take that risk of going flat out at 280 or something and then hit the brakes hard. You'll obviously take it easy, come back in Vesa. So you'll automatically start feeling that the brakes are fading away. Yeah, but agar wo nahi hua and then you go straight, your car's gone. But there's
You
obviously
are
a
gone.
good runoff. Well, there's a good amount of runoff, right? On both.
Yeah.
So tabhi tak, if you're skilled enough, you'll start swerving and slowing the car down, and you'll get a side impact. Gaadi to gaya, but you should be fine.
Speaking of runoff, that brings us to our next topic of the stream. What a great segue.
Yeah, who was in the runoff this weekend? Was it a Ferrari?
This weekend. Yes, there was a Ferrari, in fact, in a runoff this weekend.
Of course it was a Ferrari.
And unfortunately, it was Ferrari's last race winner, Mr. Carlos Sainz, who had a pretty abysmal race, if to put it nicely.
Yeah.
And through no
Why
fault
are
of
you
his
putting
own.
it nicely? Why?
Through no fault of his own. So a question to both of y'all. How strong was Sainz looking before the PU failure? And what does Ferrari need to do now? Because each race, one of their cars is fucking up. Vignesh, what do you have to...
So Sainz's pace was good enough to get in P2, because you saw he was almost about to make that move on Verstappen right before going into turn 4. P2 was like for sure, but challenging Leclerc with the pace he had, I don't think so. So I think maximum Ferrari would have gotten out of Sainz is a P2, which is still very good as a team, right? You get P1, P2 maximum points. But what Ferrari needs to do at this point is start not screwing up stuff. It's the first time in a long time they get strategy right, and this happens to them. So it's like, kuch to hona hi hai. You know what Sainz also said after the weekend? It's like, once I start to, get in the rhythm, kuch to hota hi hai to break it off again. And this is what happened. It was going to be a very good result for him, for the team. But I mean, I think Ferrari's cursed at this point, man. It's getting insane. Like every weekend, kuch to hona is a little painful as a Ferrari fan to watch. But I think if they sort their shit out well with reliability and stuff, both the drivers are very capable of putting up a good result for the team.
Yeah.
Dhaval,
Cool.
बताइए आपके विचार on Ferrari's weekend this weekend.
See, weekend-wise, so they got a whole bunch of points. Even in the sprint, they got a few points. I think overall they came out ahead of Red Bull this weekend in constructors.
Yes.
So obviously they will not be happy, because with Perez out, they could have made a lot of ground. The difference is what, some 55, 56 points right now between the
It was 44.
It was 44. How is it
between Leclerc and Verstappen, right?
No, constructors. I'm talking
about constructors. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm talking about the team in general. Yeah.
Between Leclerc and Verstappen, I remember it was 44, and now it's some 28 or something. And by the way, did you know? Fun fact about
44
F1.
Before this race and 28 after this race.
Around 38 after this race. My bad. Not 28, 38 after this race. And constructors it's 303 to 359. So just about 56 points or so. But fun fact, now F1's app is provided by Salesforce. It's not presented and owned by F1 anymore. The app is now presented by Salesforce. So इसमें भी sponsorship उन्होंने चिपकाया है. But no, the gap was pretty significant between Ferrari and Red Bull, and now Ferrari seem to be catching up. I mean, we're just halfway through the season, 11 races down, officially halftime, and we see Ferrari kind of making up ground that they lost in the middle part of the first half.
I mean, I don't, until they fix the reliability issues, I don't think it's going to get any better. The gap has, it has reduced, but it'll just go back. Like, it won't be easy for them to catch up with the kind of performances they're putting in. Even if they don't, if they have a reliable car, they'll mess up on the strategy and hand it to Red Bull. Or just for some reason, Hamilton will finish on the podium, which he has been doing for 3 races. What is happening? But Ferrari drivers are looking good. Team is looking not so good, and hope they can fix some stuff, man, because it's not nice to see them do so badly.
Ferrari strategists, number one strategists.
Number one strategist. And it's also not nice to see McLaren do so badly.
Well,
right, Arsh?
Are we going there? I thought we'll
mean-
talk to Vignesh in order, but okay.
I mean, yeah, but I just felt like we should talk about this and address this because I see you feeling sadder and sadder every day. The other day, Arsh was sitting with a photograph of like he had taken from some screenshot that he had printed where
Monza 2020.
Daniel Ricciardo नहीं चल वो सब मैं नहीं बोल रहा Daniel Ricciardo का ऐसा race finishes था 11th 14th 17th उसमें से सब second digit काट रहा था और वंथ ऐसा करके लिख दिया था सब और ऐसा पूजा कर रहा था वो फोटो की
Bro, मैं उस रात अपन 2 बजे तक पिया.
हाँ, so Arsh was quite sad. His mother called me saying Arsh has been crying a lot. Lando चिल्लाता है अपने नींद में.
This is live, Dhaval.
I don't know what's happening with him, but a lot is going wrong. And but this weekend, Arsh, it was a nice weekend for McLaren. They got points.
Look,
it's like y'all are celebrating the same thing that Haas is celebrating. How does that feel?
We'll. So I'm not gonna say we'll. We're a public, unbiased McLaren podcast. McLaren podcast. I'm so unbiased.
Wow.
I called it McLaren. Unbiased Formula One podcast. So I'm going to be unbiased towards all the teams. But see, I'm just damn happy that McLaren score points. Any weekend that McLaren score one car score points, I feel happy. But when we get 2 cars in the points,
yeah,
that's just blessings showered from above. I think this season McLaren haven't had a very consistent season, to say the least. There is no consistency in that team. Like, you'll see McLaren do one weekend extremely well with like a P5 and like a P6 finish. The very next weekend they will get P16 and P17 in qualifying and get like P12 and P9 in the race. Like that has happened. That is the norm. Like अभी तू ऑस्ट्रिया में देखेगा, ऑस्ट्रिया में P7 P9 आया इन दोनों का. ये लोग अगले वीकेंड फ्रांस में जाके हगेंगे, 101% हगेंगे. They'll get like P11 and P13 qualifying, and they'll finish like P10 and P14.
Your thoughts on this whole thing? McLaren having the same ambitions as Haas?
I think Arsh kind of summed it up very well. Inconsistency has been key so far. But I mean, if you also look at it, that one car which is usually scoring the points is Lando.
Yeah.
It's barely ever been Ricciardo. If you look at drivers' championship, there's a big difference. एक 17 पे, एक 60 something पे, right?
कुछ 55 point का या कुछ फर्क है.
Yeah, it's a big gap, and that shouldn't really happen when you're a 7-8 time race winner. Ricciardo is. But I mean, I am done making excuses about this. We've spoken about this earlier also, I remember. At this point, it is what it is. And
I've stopped defending the dude.
Yeah, we can't.
It's
not anything. He's clearly not okay with the kind of car it is, and he's not.
Rumors are that
right?
Seb Vettel along or who was the other name?
Albon.
Yeah, Albon, Herta, Patio Howard, and Seb Vettel. These are the 4 contenders for Ricciardo's seat right now.
Must be so sad for Seb, that he has to like compete with Alex Albon for a seat after all that he has done in his life. I'm sure he can just go to a midfield team and be like, "Ye seat mujhe chahiye," and they have to just give it to him. Yeah. But no, competitive sport, top level competition. So I guess that's life. We have our weekly Jihan Daruwala question in the chat. And this one's directed to you, Vignesh. Do you think he should do another year of Formula 2? And what are your thoughts on his season so far?
His season
has been his best season career-wise, right?
Career-wise, stats-wise, yes, but I feel he's very McLaren in F2. Like, he's got no consistency.
I think I wanted to learn to put it in a better way, but I think you put it very well. even the weekends he does something like out of the box extraordinarily well, the team screws it up. Like weekend, like he technically won the race because of the penalty with for sure, but then something with the technical thing of the car, he gets a 20-second penalty and not even in the points. Race went to a points. I mean, come on, how bad is that?
Yeah.
So
And it was a fantastic drive. P11 to
it was a
P2.
fantastic drive.
P11 to P2 on track. I understand penalties के बाद, but this is before penalties. P11 से वो P2 drive किया track पे, bro.
That was insane. Even the strategy call Prema made starting on
Perfect.
the
Starting
slicks.
on slicks.
Even that guy, Roberto Meri, comes from 21st to P3.
Mary is a sub driver. He's not even a full-time driver.
I mean, he's driven in F1. You got to give him that.
Yeah,
right?
but still.
So to answer your question about Jehan, he should not do another season in F2. I think that would just be too weird at that point. Like kitna season abhi, because see, rookies are coming, they're getting quicker than him. There is no consistency, and if you're a championship worthy driver, if you're an F1 worthy driver, you have that consistency in you. But if you see Drogovic, for example, that guy is just putting drives after drives after drives. That is
killing it.
Championship worthy. And if you even look at Logan Sargent, that guy is picked up heavily. And Abhi, he's got 2 feature race wins back to back, and that is no easy feat to do in F2 when everyone's so talented. And the top 10, 12 are within a second of each other. That's insane.
I mean, to dekh na, F2 mein Logan Sargent is a rookie.
Exactly.
Right now.
Yeah.
He was in F3 last year. He's a rookie this year, and he's still P3, 1 position above Jayan in the championship standings.
By quite a significant amount of points as well, though.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Agreed that Jayan was holding P3 until this weekend. And this weekend is when it went down for him. When Logan Sargent got promoted to the race win. And Jayan is going out on Sunday with 0 points. Yeah. Understandable, all of that is coming into play. But at the end of the day, you have to see that a rookie is currently beating you in the championship. And not only a rookie, Theo Porsche is 1 year junior to him. And Filipe Dragovic, I think, is, if not his junior, then his batch.
His batch, yeah.
His batch, right? So they came to F2 in the same batch. Theo Porsche came 1 year after him when he won in Monaco at the age of 17. And Logan Sargent came this year. All these 3 are way above you in the champion. Not way above, but they are above you in the championship table.
Mm-hmm.
So even though this might be, dude, anything above a P7 is his best finish this year. So you can't judge him according to that.
Yeah.
Because his best finish in F2 is 7th place, which was last year.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, no one's done more than 3 seasons in F2, have they?
Have you met Roy Nissany?
Have you met Roy Nissany? Even Guan Yu Zhou has done quite a lot of seasons, right?
Guan Yu Zhou, yeah, he did 3.
He did 3.
I bet he did more, no? I think he was
then
there.
Then he went to Formula E, no?
And then he came back.
Nissany's been there forever, man.
Nissany's been there since, I think, PS3. Yeah. Since it started, Since it started.
Fair.
And still he is driving like a rookie, or even worse.
He's never gotten a win.
Bad crash.
Dude, did you see that crash in Silverstone?
Yeah.
With Hauger. Insane.
Yeah. The halo saved him also.
Yeah, I know.
He's been in the F2 championship from 2019 to 21, which was Guan Yu Zhou. So 2019, 2020, 2021. 3 seasons.
3 years. More than 3
Before that, he was in F3, 16 to 18, and FIA F3 European, and obviously he did F3 Asia and 21 alongside.
3 से ज़्यादा नहीं किया है ना, वही तो रहता है, वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, 3 से ज़्यादा. ये रॉय निसानी का चौथा है.
ये रॉय निसानी का चौथा है, हाँ. तो पता है. That guy is 27. He's older than me.
How old are you, man?
How does it matter?
Yeah. I mean,
oh no, ये रॉय निसानी का 5वां season है. His debut season was 2018.
Like the first time in F2 था ना, GP2 से.
Yeah. So 2017, Charles Leclerc was in this champion. 2018, he came along. Roy Nissany in the second year. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This is his fifth season in F2.
Well, I don't think he's making it to F1 anytime soon.
Williams is sponsoring him. He's sponsoring Williams. वो अपना चल रहा है दोनों का पैसा.
But मस्त है ना उसका. Formula 2 racing is also pretty high level of racing. I mean, it's not. I don't know why people are like, Formula 2 is not. Formula 1, of course, is pretty high up there. It's the pinnacle, whatever you want to call it. But तो यार, Formula 2 बहुत अच्छा है यार. उसको करने दे, करियर बनाने दे उसको. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Formula 1 या 2. बहुत कम लोग पहुंचते हैं 2 भी.
I'll just give you a difference between speed, okay?
I know there is a difference between speed, but Arsh, if I told you right now that you could have like a 7 or 8 year career in Formula 2 racing, you should not pick it. Like,
That's not called a career, Dhaval. That's called paying money for 7 or 8 years to drive a car on the road. Because in F2, Vignesh will back me up on this. Anywhere apart from F1, you are paying to drive.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, I understand.
But I'm guessing that by the third year, you'll be like, see, I am just, going to stick around here. So maybe y'all can just start paying me and we make this a whole thing. So
you're trying to be a pioneer.
Yeah. Like,
you're asking way too much from Roy Nissany.
Shatter the glass ceiling, man. Like, whatever. Why is F1 so like, whoa?
I mean, think about
Screw those guys. Let the F2 winner come back to F2 and defend his title. Let's see that. Oh wait, that's not allowed by the rules. Of course. Of course. So now, wait, this whole thing is designed for this discrimination.
थोड़ा आगे बढ़े F2 से.
Yeah, there's an amazing comment.
Think about it this way, okay? If you're in F2 for 3 years and you haven't won the championship, do you really think you are F1 material at that point?
Who? I'm talking about the guy who does not want to be F1 material.
I know, right?
Who just wants to win F2 and, like settle there.
No, but you can't call it settle because at the end of the day, you're making no money. You're making your sponsors pay for you to go racing in not the top level of motorsport. At that point,
that's why I said you don't call that.
Switch. Yeah, you don't call that a career. And at that point, just switch to something else, maybe like a GT or something where you actually get paid. And because you'll have decent enough skills to at least get a win. Look at guys like
Arjun.
Mary, for example, even Arjun. And what's this guy's name? Luca Giotto last year. He was very good, but then he couldn't get a championship win ever. And he's like, I call it quits, I'm going to something else. Because that is the right move to make. Because at that point, you're just holding up seats and not letting the younger talent through.
Sergio Shetty camera.
Yeah, even he moved out to Formula E now.
He's in Formula E. Same thing. He was in F2 last year, Formula E this year. Who's that other? Kobayashi.
Kobayashi made it to F1, no?
Yeah, but he also did the same thing. He realized he was not racing well in F1. He switched to Formula Japan or something. Japan.
I mean, he's winning this thing, the 24 hours Le Mans, pretty much every year at this point. So he's damn good.
So that's what I'm saying. No, all of these people, they get good places to go to where they are.
They are good. If you're in F2, you're damn nice.
You're damn good. I mean, Arjun Maini is now winning races in the GT3 championship. Yeah.
Exactly.
He's winning races with Mercedes. With Mercedes. Yeah, F2 mein we'll not get there where he was betrayed per se. By Trident. And there was a lot of internal political thing they own because there was the second driver was getting paid more, was paying more. All of that jazz was coming up. But anyway, moving on. Moving on. We got quite a few questions in the chat because we got quite a few people watching, which is really nice. If you guys haven't liked the stream already, please click the like button, comment, go to your parents, friends, sisters, cousins, chachi's phones. Take the YouTube link and just like it from their phones as well.
Couch Pundits does not promote or endorse invasion of anybody's privacy in any manner, way,
take request from them, approval, and then do it.
Haas without reliability issues is way ahead of McLaren. And I agree with you, Dip. I agree with you. Their drivers are better. Their car is better. Their team principal is better. And just generally, as soon as you said that, Arsh has to go away because
Oh,
he
no.
has to cry into a pillow.
No. I'm going
Because
to
you
answer
have
this
just
question and then go.
insulted
Dip.
McLaren. I
Dip.
should just let you guys know this is morning for Arsh. He's had his coffee, so you know what he's giving up to answer this question. Please go
Yeah,
ahead, Arsh.
it's 9:30 in the morning. Yeah, so Dip, to answer your question.
Pooping. He's giving up pooping.
No, that's not what I was giving up. But okay, thank you for saying that on live stream. But we've got people watching today.
Shetty karne ja.
No, but answering. Bro, let me answer the question. Vignesh has muted himself. He's so done
He
with
does
us.
not want to be a part of this.
No, there's a background thing right now. Sorry.
To answer your question, Dip has without reliability issues is way ahead than McLaren. I would strongly recommend that you post this as a meme because I will reshare it, and I agree with you 100%. It's a very heavy heart. I have to say that I am on the same page as you. Unfortunately, has his reliability issues mainly stemmed down from the fact that they run a Ferrari power unit. So that
it's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
Whereas, it is their fault for making that choice, but otherwise it's not.
Other than that, no. But yeah, that's it from me. I'll just be back in 2 minutes. You can take the rest of the questions.
Yeah, man. But yeah, let's dwell on this topic for a moment. And generally, the theme of what we wanted to discuss today was this: that these are the new generation cars with the new regulations and all that. Haas has brought in some upgrades which are doing well for them now. They're competing. McLaren seem to have not figured out their car or their drivers, one singular. But generally, Vignesh, you think the midfield is a lot closer this year than it was last year? Do you think it's an
100%.
improvement?
With racing, yes. With certain teams, not really. Because you can see Aston Martin, right? One weekend, they'll be like up there. One session in Canada, they're like right up there, P5, P6, what's up. You go to qualifying or you go to another weekend, they're right down in the bottom, P20. So, but the racing definitely has gotten a lot closer because if you see the top 4 ko hatai do, but then uske baad se the rest of the field is very tightly bunched with the exception of maybe Mercedes certain weekends. They'll be far ahead of the others, but the others are like really close. The one team which seemed to have made a major improvement other than Haas, I'd say is Alpine.
Definitely.
So it's just that their drivers not every time have had the greatest of luck like Alonso. But if Ocon is also able to put up such a good performance to finish the race in P5, and Alonso coming from all the way in the back to points, which was pretty damn impressive, if you'd say. Look, Alonso by far best rookie still for me. Because you see the moves he's pulling on drivers, and on top of that, all the moves that he does are very fair and within the limits because all the time you have to leave space, right? Yeah. Even with Tsunoda, he did that finger wagging thing while going down at 300 kph was just insane. But yeah, if you see, there's a mix of teams in the top 10 now. If you exclude Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull, there's a mix of other teams coming up. And agar ek team ka luck idhar kharab ho gaya front mein, then there's a lot more people scoring points. Yeah. And speaking about Haas, I think after scoring his first points in the UK, Mick Schumacher has just turned it up. Yeah. It's like what racing, what defending, super clean, super professional. And it's just so nice, very tactical also. And he's also, matching the level or sometimes even beating Kevin in the same car, which is quite impressive. Like first half of the season, you'd give him a lot of shit, like he can't perform kar raha hai, accidents kar raha hai. But I think there's a learning curve to understand the car. It's very similar to how Sainz was last year. You see how many accidents he had in qualifying, in race or whatever. He's had big moments. Even Abibi, he's had certain moments. But I think at this point you start understanding the car a lot more confidence, and you start picking it up like big time. And you can actually see that with the drivers and the cars as well. But the teams who haven't really quite figured out their cars yet, the drivers are still skeptical, अगर मैंने ये किया तो गाड़ी क्या करेगा. But
that's true.
it
I
is how it
I
is.
feel like Ocon is saal ka Gasly. Like
Agreed.
what Gasly did last year, Ocon is doing this year with the he's got a good car. AlphaTauri are, unfortunately not able to figure things out at their end. They have several issues, inconsistent performances mainly. And what they were doing last year is essentially what Alpine is doing this year, which is being the fourth fastest team on most weekends. And with the kind of drivers they have, like you said, Alonso is the best rookie, just like Tsunoda was last year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they've got a very similar trajectory, I would say, what AlphaTauri had last year and what Alpine are looking at this year. But there was another moment during this race. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Alonso's left wheel was not put on properly during one of the pit stops, front left.
Yeah, he came back in to do
another one, but
wasn't that pit stop also really long?
Yeah.
Or I might be confusing it with F2, because F2 may also a very similar drama that weekend.
I don't know, but Alonso, obviously, if your wheel is not put on properly, you're going to get a penalty and stuff like that. So he tried to
happened with Russell.
With Bottas and Russell, yeah.
Yeah, so he tried to tell his mechanics, just, I'm coming in for another box. And they were just like, what happened? Like, why? Obviously, everyone knew.
Yeah. And what he also told was, I have a lot of vibrations. That's what he said.
Yeah. I think immediately they may not have realized. But when he told them, they must have obviously checked and figured out, okay, this is the problem. But I don't know. I don't know how far this is true, but I think he tried to pull a fast one on the stewards, and obviously they caught him and was
but
not
he got away with it, no?
He didn't get away with it.
The only penalties given out this weekend were, I think, on Russell. 5 seconds.
There was some issue with him post-race. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, going back to Ferrari again. But no, Mick Schumacher. Yes, I must address that. And yes, I am so happy to see this guy racing finally, because all we've seen of him is just, bringing up the rear on most occasions. At max, we see him, racing in the first lap where he'll, overtake one or two guys if they get a bad start. But otherwise, his car has just not been with him. And it's nice to see, like his skill in terms of racing. So there's going to be obviously a lot more to look forward to if he also starts putting in maybe a podium finish this year. It could happen.
That was going to be my follow-up, because we do have a lot of questions in the chat regarding Ferrari and regarding this thing Haas. So my first question is going to be related to Haas. Haas are showing promise this week, this last couple of races, and they've been showing promise throughout the season. Question to both of y'all are, let's predict which would be the highest finish of the season. As a team, no, but single drivers would also do. Not a combined finish, but a normal finish.
I think podium finish is realistic, because even in the beginning of the year, Magnussen was finishing P4, P5 at one of the races he finished.
Finished P5 or P6 in his first race.
Yeah, and he qualified P4, something like that. So it's not unrealistic. You will have Ferrari failures going forward. You could have one of them taking out a Red Bull. You never know. And suddenly you're looking at a Haas competing for podium.
Vignesh?
I think best finish P4. I think P3 is getting a bit too unrealistic when you have the likes of Alpine and sometimes, McLaren and Mercedes always being there to collect on the leader's mistake like they have been recently. So I think considering Haas haven't gotten any major upgrades yet, they're doing a very good job. But I think P4 से ज़्यादा looks a little unrealistic to me. P4 and P5 would be like a dream finish for them. But
I think I'll have to back Vignesh up out here. And I'm hoping Vignesh and I both are proven wrong.
yeah,
Because we both, I think all three of us on this stream would love to see Haas get a podium because they have worked extremely hard for the last 3 years. And you could see it. I mean, it's not easy coming into an entire year of racing knowing that you're going to come last each race. Like that's exactly what 2021 was for them. They went into the entire 2021 season admitting the fact that each and every race is going to be last. I mean, it takes a lot of mental strength and physical strength to travel the world, to come to each race weekend with a smile on your face, knowing for a fact you're going to have to take that walk down the entire pit lane to get to your canopy, to get to your entire pit setup, and still know that this is where you're going to be the next year also. Like it takes a lot. And to just see them right now fighting for P6 in the constructors, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Moving on, we have a few questions. Do all the signs SANZ caps lock say Carlos is the second driver now?
Nah, बिल्कुल नहीं. What are you saying? Last weekend तो वो कैप्टन बनाया था हम लोग ने उसको. तुम लोग क्या बोल रहे हो यार?
I think वो captain खुद बनता है making his own strategy calls.
Do not invent.
Do not invent, exactly. I mean, come on, Ferrari. You can obviously see, their golden boy is Charles, but they haven't. It's like they're trying to cover up that fact by allowing them to race, but at the end of the day, you always know it's going to be Leclerc who's given that preference.
I don't think they're trying to cover it up. I think they want to make it obvious, but they, as a team, are not in enough of a commanding position. I don't think they have that influence over Carlos Sainz because he comes from pedigree. He's not a bad driver, and there's not a lot of difference between the two of them. In terms of points, yes, there is some difference, but that also owing to the fact that there have been a lot of engine failures this season. So they don't have a leg to stand on and tell their drivers, no, this is how it has to be done. Because it's the drivers really who are getting the points. So it's a weird space for them to be in.
But otherwise, far more weird by doing what they're doing on track also, right? Like if you look at Silverstone, asking him to create a 10 car length difference to Leclerc was outright stupid.
Yeah, while Hamilton is on his
exactly,
but while
Bottas would have done it last year.
Is on his butt, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Bottas would have done it last year. Obviously, Bottas tried to do a lot of this shit last year, and Verstappen was just too quick for him. But all I'm saying is, if Mercedes told Bottas this, if those were team orders coming from Mercedes to Bottas, it would have happened. There would have been an attempt.
Ferrari the kind of car they had last year, sure, but the kind of how close the midfield is this year, I doubt he would have done it.
Like I think I'd agree. I'd agree with Vignesh. I mean, just replace Sainz with Bottas and replace Hamilton with either Verstappen or a Leclerc in a Ferrari. Like replace that with that. And I think if with the same distance, I mean, Hamilton's nose was smelling Sainz's butt. Like they were that close. And if you expect someone to back an entire pack up about 18 cars behind them, after which you've got a 7-time world champion who's hounding to make sure you make a mistake. It's not going to be easy. Be it Bottas in the car or be it Sainz in the car.
I don't know. I feel like Valtteri is James aa gaya to matlab ho jayega. Jo hukum sarkar.
But that's exactly what it was. No, Valtteri, it's James only it was. At the end of the day, the team radio went like, Sainz, please give 10 car lengths of space. In another words,
tu gaadi banane pe concentrate kar.
And Sainz's response was, to whomever it may concern, please, fuck you. Like that was Sainz's concern.
I loved that though, honestly.
Yeah, I think No, one thing that I wanted to bring up when you want to talk about Charles Leclerc is the ideal project boy of Ferrari. I mean, if Ferrari Driver Academy had a face, it would be Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Because he is exactly what Ferrari wanted from the FTA. They wanted a driver that they supported all the way through karting to F1. And he has tick-marked all the boxes. They were supporting him through karting, through junior formulas, to Formula 2, to Formula 1, Alfa Romeo Sauber se Sida Ferrari. Like, it's a normal, the gradual process. He's the first person that has done that for Ferrari.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they are keeping him, that image of a dream child, of a dream boy. Because what Verstappen is to Red Bull, like I said, Leclerc is to Ferrari, but even on a more significant level. Like Red Bull, to theek hai. Red Bull was, like Verstappen was picked up by Red Bull in Formula 3. Ferrari has been following Charles Leclerc's career ever since he held a steering wheel. Through not only him, but through his godfather, Jules Bianchi. Bianchi was in the FTA, all of that. So that's why he is like, I mean, what Mick Schumacher is probably right now. He's an earlier version of Mick Schumacher. And a lot of similarities actually play out between the two. But yeah, Battle of Goats, Lewis versus Schumacher was amazing. Yeah, dude. I feel the way Schumacher. Bro, वो Internet Explorer पे देख रहा है ना. वो अभी आया. इसलिए. But I think that guy defended like a beast. I think Schumacher was on fire the entire weekend, and he very, very thoroughly deserved driver of the day.
Yeah, he got driver of the day. It was so nice. उससे क्या मिलता है?
Really nice. कुछ नहीं.
वही लगा मुझे.
तो ये भी sponsored है Salesforce के by Salesforce. Or is it Aramco? I think it's Aramco. Aramco driver of the day, Salesforce fastest lap है ऐसे कुछ पता नहीं. DHL fastest lap था. इसे उधर IPL dude, IPL में भी इतने sponsors नहीं है.
नहीं मिलता उधर 1-1 लाख रुपए का ऐसा चेक मिलता है.
अरे हाँ चेक मिलता है ना, but like when you say DHL fastest lap, Aramco orange cap, यहाँ पे भी Aramco है ना driver of the day.
Their names, Arsh.
Okay.
No need.
But last couple of questions. Shrishti, hello. Shrishti's in chat.
तू क्या ऐसा फोन पे देख रहा है?
बस देख रहा हूँ ना. How does it matter?
नहीं मेरे पास ऐसा एक dedicated console है इसके लिए तो
तू पढ़.
नहीं you go ahead, you're doing a great job.
No. I was just saying Shrishti is in chat. Vignesh, if you don't know, Shrishti is the moderator of the channel. She makes sure no one like abuses or does anything wrong. I was also moderator.
Yeah.
Now I am host.
Look at him. Look at the progress he's made in life.
Bro, faster progress.
His free time following a small-time sports podcasting channel, and now he has promoted himself to creating content for the small-time sports podcasting channel.
So, I have more upgrades than
now he has lesser free time, but he does exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I have more upgrades than McLaren. Okay, I grow faster than them.
I yet to see even one upgrade on you, Arsh. Since you joined, it has only been downgrades.
Shut up! I've got
this. Who does this on a live stream, dude?
It's 9:45 in the morning.
Even it's 9:45. It may be, like only our parents, but they are still watching this. What will they think about?
Shrishti saying morning filter must hai, Arsh.
Moving back to a little bit of Formula 1.
Yeah. Sorry. Schumacher, Alonso being cheeky tried to hide it. Yes, he did. I smell some. Okay, this is an interesting question for both of y'all. I smell some rivalry between Haas drivers going ahead. Felt Mick was not able to move on from the sprint race issue throughout the weekend. I hope I'm wrong though. This is coming from Dip.
No. I have seen some of these post-race interviews. And yes, of course, there's going to be momentarily, like I say, ye kiya, wo kiya. But Magnussen has been so supportive of Mick throughout. He's like, we all want to see Mick score points. And it's Haas. Like, they know they're not fighting for championship. They know they're not really fighting for race wins. They're just there making sure all of them have a good time. So there is really no reason for there to be that rivalry. Of course, two drivers, same car, there's basic competitiveness. These guys are race car drivers at the end of the day. But I highly doubt that there is going to be any real rivalry. Yes, there might be moments, but no. Vignesh?
Yeah, I agree with what you said. Like on track tussles are gonna be there because, like you said, at the end you're all racing drivers, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like they're fighting for a championship or something that their team is gonna say back off or whatever. So they're gonna have their own races, and there's going to be moments where Mick will be quicker or Magnussen will be quicker. Ask for them to go ahead. अगर significant दिख रहा है वो लोग को कि there's a pace difference, they may even allow it. But at the end of the day, they're pretty much together taking the team forward. That's what the team wants, right? So it's a very wholesome environment, like you said. They support each other. They're like really close, and that's how it should be. But when you're on track, it's a different thing. It's like tu mera kaun waisa situation. You're at it with everyone, be it your teammate or not.
And that is what is expected from these guys. They're going
Pretty
at
much, yeah.
such high speeds कि they don't have time also कि मैं हाँ तू जा आगे, अगर तेरे को जाने दिया तो आगे तेरे साथ मतलब 6 और ड्राइवर चले जाएंगे. So there's no you can't do it even if you want to.
And I think we saw that very aptly in a thumbnail picture that is today. There were 4 to 5 cars fighting for one position, 3 different constructors. You've got a Haas fighting with a McLaren, fighting with an Alpine. You got 2 Haas, a McLaren, and Alpine, and I think a Mercedes was in the mix or something. Oh no, an Alfa Romeo was in the mix. So you got 4 different, you've got 4 different constructors, 5 different cars fighting for one position. So you can't be like, chal, tu ja. उसके पीछे 4 लोग और बोलेंगे भैया thank you जी. Like this is like a Mumbai local train. You can't give an ounce of space. I mean, you should always leave the space. I get that. But itna space bhi nahi ki wo amma be like chal bye. I'm going. And I think that's very easily seen in the boy band of Formula 1 that we see with George Russell, Lando, Albon, apna One Direction. So they are very good friends off the track. They are extremely tight. They stream together. They play games together. They chill. They have a good time. But on track, elbows out for all of them. No matter if the car in front of you is Hamilton or if it's Russell. If you see a Mercedes and you're chasing down in a McLaren, you will make a dive.
Yeah,
you're not going to care. And I think that's fantastic to watch. It's like that fighter pilot mentality that was said earlier. As soon as you put the visor down,
it's a different situation.
Yeah,
and I think that's fantastic.
Only time to grab points for Haas one way or another. I think, Ram, I agree with you. That's what you just said.
Yeah, Shetty, yes, Vettel was fined again.
Why was Vettel fined again?
Because he walked out of the GDPA.
The what now?
The drivers
meeting with the officials or something.
No, the drivers briefing. So the drivers,
GP Drivers Association.
जो भी है, the Grand Prix Drivers Association, GPDA.
Yeah.
GDPA. The GPDA was having a meeting where अपना president George Russell was talking. और ये बोला bye.
Trust a German not to care about what an Englishman is saying.
Damn.
Vettel is now a rebellious teenager who does everything rules forbid. Have you seen Vettel when Hamilton he was young and actually a rebellious teenager? You remember Vettel? Once he got that confidence of winning a championship, he was like, I am untouchable, guys. तुम लोग मेरे को कुछ करके तो दिखाओ. कुछ भी करता था वो. पागल आदमी था. इसीलिए तो यहाँ तक पहुंचा. You see this? This like sometimes if you see Vettel like only in this era, you'll be like, oh wow, boy, Vettel एकदम भला आदमी है. नहीं, हरामी है वो भी. Full हरामी है.
I think earlier.
Yeah, सब हरामी होने चाहिए.
I saw some interview. He's like, I'm a bad guy because nice guys finish last, and like bad guys take the prom queen home and all. कुछ भी.
Dude, there was literally an era called villain Vettel.
Yeah, true.
Like there was an era called in Formula One called Villain Battle, where after he won the 2010 championship in Abu Dhabi, after that 11, 12, 13, no matter who his teammate, Mark Webber ho, Daniel Ricciardo ho, he showed them. He's like, मैं हूँ boss. तुम लोग. I mean, 2013 or which one is it? 2013 or 2014 season where he won? No, where he qualified either P1 or P2. Entire season. 13, na? 13. 2013 season, he qualified P1, P2.
9 races back-to-back wins. Insane.
Back to back. Hamilton भी नहीं किया ये.
Wait, 9 races back-to-back.
Yeah.
But he's had like crap luck this year. Even in the sprint, in the main race, got taken out.
I think all of us are very excited to see.
I'm afraid a little bit that Vettel might quit. Because he's been very vocal about this whole thing. Look, I am not here just to race for points. I want to win championships. I want to win races, at least, if not championships. So, if he's not getting one of those good cars, maybe in a couple of seasons, we might see him stop, dude.
Very possible.
Couple, huh?
Next, एक साल खींचेगा वो, मेरे हिसाब से.
अगर एक साल next year भी कुछ नहीं हुआ ना अच्छा ढंग का. Like if he has a season like Daniel Ricciardo next year, वो बोलेगा चलो, I've got 4 championships, I'm good.
I mean, yeah. See, like the situation that is happening with Ricciardo now, वैसा तो होगा नहीं, क्योंकि he'll go in, इतना टीम के साथ मिलजुल जाएगा कि he's going to be coming out as a number 1. So even you look at Aston Martin, right? Stroll ka dad owns the team. But chala kaun raha hai team? It's him, because he's the one who's actually able to drive the car as it should be driven, right? Like zyada points, you look at Stroll and his results, you'll know the difference. And say, for example, he gets that McLaren seat, jo rumors chal raha hai uske hisab se, and Ricciardo maybe goes to another team, or maybe out of F1. I hope that doesn't happen. But
F1 won't allow that to happen because the brand value of Ricciardo is pretty high.
He's got quite a bit of brand value.
Yeah, but say in case Seb switches to McLaren, he's not going to go there, act as number 2 to Lando. And he is that kind of driver who will adapt to the car and does it quickly. Because if you see through the generations of Ferrari, when he joined in, I believe, 14 or 15, the way he was able to drive that shitbox to P1 in Malaysia, and the way he's kept on driving against even Leclerc, or not always being there, but like being right there, you know what I mean? He's not that kind of guy who's going to take a backseat ever. He's always going to be
outperforming someone like Kimi.
Exactly.
In each race is not an easy task.
I mean, at the end of the day, he is a 4-time world champion, right? You can't take him for granted. He'll be there. Whatever team he goes to, he'll be the one dictating.
No doubt.
Where do you guys see Vettel next year?
I think we just answered that question, Sakshan.
No.
And
give me a definitive answer.
There is no definitive answer. अगर पता होता तो मैं इधर मतलब bookies को phone नहीं कर रहा होता कि ये पैसे लगाओ इस चीज पे. Arsh यार, come on यार. If you guys are just joining, welcome. This is the Couch Pundits weekly Formula 1 stream. We do this after every race. Please hit the like button if you're here and you like the content that we're putting out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're going to start concluding things. We're going to talk about Austria. We're coming back a little bit, talk about the race that happened. Among some of the things that happened in this race was, we've already mentioned this, Carlos Sainz's car caught fire. Let's talk about that incident with Russell and Perez for a bit, because that's what caused Perez to retire his car eventually. If I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
He got hit.
He got hit by Russell.
Russell wanted to basically, this meme is going around everywhere. Russell wanted to be like Hamilton. He was looking up to his idol. Hamilton pulled off a similar move in Austria 2 years ago. Against Mr. Alex Albon, if you all remember. Where Alex Albon at the time was fighting for the win.
He was. Imagine
fighting for the win.
Imagine his career trajectory would have been so different if that little nudge would not have happened.
So different. Because he was about to take, and same curve, turn 4, same freaking corner. This happened where he went to overtake a Mercedes around the outside, and Mr. Hamilton was like, no, not today.
Wrong place, wrong time, for Alex Albon.
Seriously. Same thing with Checo, yeah.
I mean, particularly
Checo
for
got
this
another.
race, I was just talking about more of a macro perspective for Alex
Checo
Albon's
got another.
life.
Yeah, Checo got another contract. Alex didn't. That's the only difference. But must tha, bro. Wo overtake attempt. But I think 5 seconds was too less. Vignesh, what do you think?
I think for starters, it was not a smart move to make a move around the outside, because we've seen time and time again, especially like first lap pe itna over ambitious move is a little unnecessary, considering your car is a rocket ship around the track and the other car isn't, right? I think it's the same situation for him. It was to get up as many places as possible to help Max, but I think thoda zyada over ambitious. Like Albon ka maybe not so much if you look at the situation then, and if you look at the situation now. Like, come on, ye lap 1 and do you really have to do that right now? And see, if you go to the inside of that corner anyways opens up. So automatically your steering is going to open, right? And going around the outside without a significant tire advantage or pace advantage is just not very possible. And 5 seconds, I think, is decent, keeping up with the consistency that the FIA has recently. I think it's pretty nice. Because if they've given like 10 seconds or something, other people would try and make moves. Maybe he would just spin and come off. Usko 5 seconds mila, and his race khatam hua isliye 10 seconds. I think inconsistency ki wajah se also FIA is getting a lot of shit. So they've started like keeping things very tight. Even if you look at track limits, they've been very consistent and strict with it. So I think that's
drivers were not happy with that though.
I mean, it was very strict, the track limit.
Very strict. Even in F2, you see everyone's just getting a 5 second penalty.
Dude, F1 and F2 ke end of the race, na, literally, agar tu wo graphic dekhega, there was just penalties everywhere.
Yeah.
Just penalties. Sabko penalty. Track limits. Bro, लोगों को 11-11 वार्निंग मिले हैं रेस में.
सा वो गेम रेसिंग हो गया है, सबको पेनल्टी.
Literally online lobbies.
Yeah. What else happened in this race? Hamilton finished on podium. Obviously, Leclerc won. Verstappen P2. I think it's time for Daniel Ricciardo to go. What do you think, Arsh? This is one of those topics that
Why do you always have to bring? Yeah. Why do you have to bring this up?
I think.
But okay, I will answer this question because as a true McLaren fan, I will defend.
Liberty Media will not let it happen, but he will have to leave McLaren, I feel.
Liberty Media doesn't have much power over it. Even though they own F1,
they will not let it happen, Arsh.
I doubt they have too much this thing. But yes, I see where you're coming from. Because in recent times, like we've seen, F1 has now become more of a brand and more of an entertainment channel for most people than a sport, because of the commercialization of the sport. I feel you're right. Daniel Ricciardo is too precious of an asset to let go in PR senses. Even when he went on Ellen DeGeneres, how do you pronounce it? Ellen DeGeneres show. He was introduced as the star of the online Netflix hit show Drive to Survive. Please welcome Daniel Ricciardo. And I'm like, एक तो वो actor नहीं है, वो Formula 1 driver है. या car mechanic.
Ricciardo, he can be anything he wants.
हाँ, या car mechanic. Yeti गया? Yeti गया?
नहीं.
Okay.
For those who are watching with your phone, sorry about that, guys.
But no, I feel That's exactly what's going to happen. Daniel Ricciardo is going to move to a team where you probably see Latifi go. You probably see Latifi go, and you see Daniel Ricciardo replacing Latifi with Alex Albon, having a good time in Williams.
Depression हो जाएगा यार बेचारे को.
अरे, but then Oscar Piastri comes into the picture, no? देख, ये कंफर्म है कि लतीफी अगला सीजन जा रहा है और ऑस्कर पिएस्ट्री आ रहे हैं. अभी उनका शफलिंग जो ग्रिड के बीच में होना है ना, whatever they want to mix amongst themselves, I feel that will be done. मतलब तुम लोग डिसाइड करो तुम लोग को कौन से टीम में चलाना है. Like, I think it'll be that. Piastri comes in for Latifi, or Vettel goes to Daniel Ricciardo's seat. Daniel Ricciardo comes down to Aston Martin. Aston Martin takes. कुछ भी हो सकता है, bro. Vignesh, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I was going to say the exact same thing. I was going to say Ricardo and Seb swap, considering what's happening, or it could be Ricardo partnering with this guy Oscar Piastri, with Albon going there. It could be like an all Aussie lineup. That could be possible as well.
An all Aussie lineup in
What
Williams.
About the new F2 champion? Do you see them being promoted next year?
No.
As a reserve driver?
No. As a reserve driver, probably.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But see,
that's Max.
Red Bull and AlphaTauri already have a reserve driver,
Liam Lawson.
Liam Lawson. So he's look at the luck he's had. It's absolute crap. So वो जीतने से रहा season, but he already got that, right? And I think even McLaren have someone as a reserve driver. Mercedes have someone as well, and I think every team already has this sorted with the reserve driver, but not, never say never, kuch bhi ho sakta hai. But
considering Fury Whips losing his place, maybe Red Bull might be looking at someone else.
Look, now you've got Liam Lawson. You've got Liam, and Red Bull cannot afford to have more drivers in the driver academy. Please. You've got 4 of them or 5 of them in F2 itself. Yeah, you've got Iwasa, you've got Dennis Hauger, you've got JR, and you've got Liam Lawson in F2. You've got 3 more drivers riding in F3.
Yeah.
तेरे पास इतनी जगह नहीं है F1 में, कहाँ से निकालेगा तू?
नहीं, 4 जगह है तो निकाल
4 जगह है, लेकिन अभी 4 जगह है, लेकिन 8 अभी ड्राइवर अकेडमी में है. 8 ऑफ देम
रेड बुल और होंडा का क्या सीन है? कुछ रिन्यू ही नहीं हो रहा है क्या वो लोग का?
वो अभी आया ना, अभी रिसेंटली क्रिस्टियन हॉर्नर अनाउंस्ड
क्या,
if they want to continue to produce with us, there is a chance they might go back on their word, and instead of coming back in 26, they might come back in 24 as the owners of AlphaTauri. So they might basically buy out AlphaTauri and come in as a brand new team itself in partnership with Red Bull. So it'll be called like, how Oracle Red Bull Racing, Honda AlphaTauri, or just Honda Racing, or aise kuch.
Still be a sister team though of Red Bull.
It will still be a sister team of Red Bull. Because if it comes as even if it comes as a singular team, as a complete owner, like Honda, like how Honda BAR was there earlier, very similar. If they come out with like Honda F1 racing team, Honda will provide power units to Red Bull.
But they also have something coming up in 26 with Porsche, right?
Yeah, with that Porsche seems to be the case.
Yeah.
So right now they're working all of that out. Yeah, they're working all of that out. Because if Honda does come in, then it'll be like what Alfa Romeo and Haas are to Ferrari. Yeah. It'll be something like that. Like, Haas, even though Ferrari is an entire F1 team, it provides the engines to Haas and Alfa Romeo. Same thing.
Does that bring us to the end of our discussion, guys? Anything else you all want to?
Yes.
No? Okay. Once again, Vignesh, best of luck for the upcoming GK Tire Championship. You'll be driving Formula 4 level cars over there.
Yeah.
Am I right? Yeah. So you're excited, man. Best of luck for that. And is there anywhere we can watch it or follow it?
Yeah, it will be live streamed on Facebook and YouTube. I will send you the links.
The links will be up on our Instagram.
हो सके तो काउच पंडित्स का स्टिकर चिपका दे अपने कार पे.
I don't mind. See,
I was taking
I'm sending you the stickers tomorrow, Vignesh.
I was taking a shot in the dark.
I will send you those stickers tomorrow.
You will get the stickers then. If you can stick it, great.
Yeah, I'll do it. It's fine.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
And now this is a contract between us. There's
It's
a
on
live
live.
video recording of
On
it.
YouTube.
So if you back out of it, we will, you know what we'll do. We'll
Not
just be
call
very
you.
sad and sit in a corner and cry. Arsh and I will be like, क्या हो गया यार?
वो रात
तो
अपन
पूरा
2 बजे तक
जिंदगी
थे
बर्बाद
यार.
हो गया. On that note, thank you so much for giving us your time. Arsh, thank you. And thank you to everyone who joined. Shrishti moderating the chat. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you guys after the next race, which is not this
France.
week, but the week after
France.
that. So next week won't be anything, but the week after that, we will be back after the race for wrapping it up as we usually do. And yeah, until then, bye. See you. Good night.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.